Hey guys, I'm back. So today I am back with Isa, and we did talk last week, 2 weeks ago, and we're back again talking about another important subject, which is colorism. I want to talk about it because it's something I dealt with a little bit when I was young. I saw people dealing with it, so I told myself, oh, let's bring Isa back, and let's have the discussion together. So I'm going to start with the definition. And oh, first, how are you doing, Isa?
Hey, Raphael. I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for participating in the discussion with me.
Of
So
course, it's a pleasure.
we're going to start with the definition, and then together we'll see if we like the definition before we continue. So first, the term was introduced by Alice Walker in 1983, and here's the definition. So the definition of colorism is prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group. So I think it's a good definition, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's begin. I'm gonna get started right away with the first question. So the first question is: have you ever witnessed colorism in your everyday life?
Yes, definitely. I will say I have witnessed colorism, especially in just growing up. I saw it a lot, specifically when it came to how people treated children with darker skin tones compared to children who had lighter skin.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing too was also, I would say, at this age now, seeing how, when it comes to desirability, seeing how, as a dark skinned person, specifically when you're a dark skinned woman, you definitely have to play more into the Western um, definition of femininity in order to kind of use any leverage, I guess, in society just to even be treated better. Because definitely, I something I picked up on that I, unfortunately have to practice often is when you're a darker skinned person, you don't really have the luxury to have a bad outfit day or have like, because we see just all the situations that happen with Black people in America where they would just wear a hooded sweater. It's just there's so many little things that like as a dark skinned person that I had to be hyper focused on. It's like, okay, how does your hair look? How does your outfit look? Do you look intimidating? Try are you wearing black? What color is more approachable and friendly? Kind of all these little things to try to curate yourself to become approachable and also just to not have any negative experiences from white people and just other people in general. So definitely that's like something I picked up on for sure.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I remember the first time I was faced with colorism. It was when I was a bit younger. The first experiences I was in a group of black kids, and we were just walking, and it was really sunny. And there was one. She was a girl, and she was darker skin tone, and they were telling her, "Oh my God, you need to protect yourself because you're gonna become dark and black, and yeah, protect yourself." And then when it was with the lighter skin individual, they were saying, "Oh, be careful, be careful because you may have, you may get a disease." We didn't know we were kids, right? We were like, I don't know, 9 or 10, I forgot the age. And they were saying, oh, be careful because mom talked about skin cancer, so you really have to take care of your health. And that's why I was like telling myself, this is very subtle, but the message is clear. I didn't, I wasn't able to put it quite in words, but as they were talking about the my dark skin tone friend, they were telling her, you're gonna get darker. When we were looking at the light skin, my other light skin friend, they were more worried about the person's health. So I
Yeah.
said, oh, that's interesting. Like, while we were more worried about the person's health, and the other one more worried about how dark skin is going to look, how desirability, as kids, we it happens a little bit, but is she gonna be pretty as the light skinned person? No, we're just worrying about the physical trait, but not about her health. So that's why I told myself, okay, this is interesting. Why are we saying that to that person and saying this, talking about the other person's health, right? And back then, I still didn't know what colorism was, so I couldn't put it quite in words.
Yeah.
Did you witness any other situation where there was colorism involved, or?
Yeah. Um, for example, I would say I want to say this is maybe could be more racism than colorism. Um, but when I was a kid, in my grade 6 class, we were painting, and all of the girls in the washroom, they decided to put their hands on the walls and cover the entire washroom with their fingerprints. And so we came back to class, and the janitor came and he was angry, um, saying like, "Who destroyed the washroom?" And so the teacher asked us who did it, and all every single one of the white girls in my class, it was like 10 of them, and they all said like I did it. And so of course it's me against 10 people. Logically, the teacher was like, not all 10 people could be lying. So it was really unfortunate. I had detention that day, and I didn't really have anyone to defend me at that time.
Yeah,
So definitely, I will say colorism comes into play in the ways that darker skinned people are associated with, you know, being, what's the word? Um, Deviant. Yes.
yeah,
Darker skinned children are associated with deviance. And for me, she couldn't see um, that like all of the white students were rallying against me. But because of my darker skin, she associated that with deviance, unconsciously, probably. And so she couldn't really process in her mind that one student could cause such, a disruption and uh, happen to try to lie in front of 10 people about something that happened. So definitely, as a kid, I had a series of events like this that I witnessed, but it's it was very clear to me the power dynamics and also
yeah,
just the different ways you're treated as a darker skinned person and the traits you're given are projected onto you as a darker skinned person. Deviance, and just how you are kind of robbed of that innocence too when you're a child because they only see you as your color. Kind of like the quote um, in this film. I don't remember the name, but the film was the quote of the film was how can you um, how can you not be deemed as violent if your skin is seen as a weapon? And I
yeah,
thought that really for me spoke volumes because it's like you'll never really be seen as anything else besides a violent person or as a weapon that can harm people. So that's something I definitely thought a lot about as a darker skinned person, like how I'm seen to other people, especially if um, I'm not playing into desirability and kind of operating um, in a very, I would say, respectable manner for Black people. Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So, and even as we talk about desirability, also, when we go into the dating world, that's where it becomes a bit interesting. I always say interesting, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? It
Right,
becomes
a
a bit,
little messy. Yeah.
yeah. And I was but before we go into the dating world, of course. When you think about colorism and amongst black individuals in the black community, do you think this was created due to colonialism, slavery? Do you think that may have been the the push or the reasoning why, as black people, we look at each other in a certain way, as darker skin tone is wrong and lighter skin tone is right?
Oh, 100%. A friend of mine, she is African American, and something she said really, I would say, like, made me think about your question right now. She talked about how, like, as black people, we compare ourselves on a scale of skin tone from whiteness to black instead of looking at our skin tones from a scale within blackness. And
Yeah,
I think it's definitely where it gets tricky because if the skin tone, the beginning of the scale is white and the end is black, it's kind of just like that is a huge range. So
yeah,
definitely from colonialism, whiteness came from that. Definitely, if we look at Brazil too, and kind of the issues they have even right now, just with the way colonialism really impacted them as a country, where there's so many different ethnicities and races and all these things. Um, but yeah, it's definitely has its roots in colonialism due to the ways that whiteness is just permeated into how, as black people, we see ourselves and who we compare ourselves to. It's kind of just like you're only dark skin is only deemed as bad in comparison to whiteness. But it's like we're not comparing it to a brown skinned person because brown is just a few shades above. So it's not really a huge contrast. But definitely it's a big contrast when you compare it to white and black. So yeah, it's I see it.
so good. Like, I would say that colorism is like the cousin or the I don't know brother of racism, if we could say that.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
The young sibling for sure.
yeah. So then, if we go into the dating world now, we go into this dating world, which is, before I was with my husband, I mean, the things I would hear sometimes, yeah. In the dating world, have you ever faced colorism, like the way people would see you, and mostly, maybe black guys, the way they would approach you, and yeah. Have you ever faced colorism in the dating world?
Yeah, I definitely have. Um, I definitely had my fair share of colorist experiences. It's something I can laugh about now, but it because it was just so ridiculous. I've had there was a date I went on with this guy. He was also black. He's seen me in person before on many occasions,
Yeah,
um, but on our first date when I first came and I sat down, he was like, "Oh, I didn't realize you were so dark." And so once he said that, I just got up and left, literally, um, because I was just like, I there's just nothing else we can discuss further. It's just I can't be comfortable with someone saying that and you expect me to still have a conversation with you. It's just yeah, it's not realistic. It's not possible. So I never saw him again. Had no intentions of doing so, but I thought it was really very ridiculous for him as another black person to say that. And even on the flip side, with non-black men too, a lot of them have like put these projections on me as a black woman that I can fulfill like their sexual fantasies and all these things. And even before I open my mouth, they just assume that like I'm good in bed and all these different things. And it's just like, that's just a very, I would say, tiring assumption that people project onto black women. Uh, but yeah, for me, I've had to learn to take my time with dating and just focus on myself and keeping my standards Because definitely when you date as a dark skinned woman, it is hard. Also, waiting and being patient to remind yourself that there is a good person out there who you know is better than the general public that
Yeah.
tries to interact with you. And I'm on the other side. I'm in a happy relationship, so I can confirm that it's there's good people that exist. It just takes some time to find them, but yeah, all I can say is definitely keeping your standards, no matter what, is really important. Just for like dark skinned people in general, because it's like we do deserve love, just like anyone else. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, me, in the dating world before, I was with my husband. It was kind of interesting. I'm sorry, I got something in my throat. It was kind of interesting, right? Interesting. I wouldn't say interesting, but it was kind of at times traumatizing.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So I would go on the sites and they would write, no blacks,
Right.
or I only date light skin or mixed skin people or mixed skin people. And I was like, okay, well, this is interesting. Why would you say, usually I would never really, talk to those people because the message was clear. I'm not mixed and I'm certainly not light skinned.
Right.
So I was like, I wouldn't put myself in a position where I would get hurt, right? So I would get the message and just move on, right? But I went on this date with one person, this one guy. And when I went I was at his place, I saw lightning soap. And then at one point I was talking to him, and then he was saying, usually, I'm light skin. I prefer being with either light skinned person or a mixed race person. I would prefer that, right? But you as a darker skinned person, it's you're good looking. I'm surprised. I wouldn't mind to get to know you. And I remember just looking at them and saying, this is actually kind of ridiculous. Like you say, it's ridiculous. Like I
Right.
went to you and I see lightning so, and the way you're talking about, my skin, and do you mind if I was, because I'm dark skinned, but imagine if I was even darker skinned. Again, the insult, the audacity that you have to talk to another person and say this, right? And that's when I think I was like 21, 22. And I was
Right.
like, where did this come from? That's when I turned 25. So I understood, like, okay, so this is colorism. This is, the way as black people, the light is right, darker is not right. It's like we see you differently. And it just all made sense as I was like looking at like the story I told you with the young girl who said, "Oh, you have to protect yourself. You're gonna be black. You're gonna be dark, and you're gonna be a blackie." And the light skin was more we were more worried about his health, right? So that was like really like the dating scene was really really awkward for me. I was just okay, so I'm not desirable as we talk about desirability, right? I'm not desirable since I'm not light skinned or mixed race, you know. So that was really weird. And again, as we talk about desirability, we now have to look at the media and what they perpetuate, right? The messages through films and through music. And I mean, I enjoy rap music. I enjoy rap music and all those things, and I watch them. And sometimes before deciding to go into more conscious rap, I would listen to all type of rap music, and I would look at all the videos that they would send, and in those rap songs, the rap songs that were not conscious, of course, they would say things. I'm with my light skinned girl, or they would say they would put in the front light skinned women and show them as desirable, as beautiful, and mind you, some of those rap songs, not all rap, but some of those rap songs that I would listen to, already the way they would portray women, black women, were very, it was very, only physical and
Yeah,
what you can provide, what you can provide in the bed, and all those, like, those things. But on top of that, there's colorism, right?
right.
And what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's they definitely objectify dark skinned women as just only sex objects, to be honest. That is a lot of it's definitely reflected in real life. The ways that dark skinned women are seen in that way. Uh, just how you mentioned films, I love romance films. I
Yeah,
think I've seen all of the romance films probably 3 to 4 times each, and like it's something I picked up on is like a lot of the, especially if it's a black woman, who is the main character, a love interest, they'll be brown skinned. I've never seen a dark skinned woman as like the lead as a love interest in these romance films. It's always Zoe Saldana, like her skin tone, or maybe a mixed woman, but it's never anyone that looks like Lupita. So for me, it's like I'm really waiting to see Lupita in like a cute uh, romantic comedy or something, because it'd be nice to see. Because for me, also as someone who just grew up, watching so many films, it's like it would have been nice to see someone that looked like me in those films, being the love interest instead of seeing white women all the time as love interest in these romantic comedies, or just brown skinned women. So I would definitely say that like it would have been nice to see people that look like me being appreciated, because it definitely wasn't reflected in everyday life
yeah,
how dark skinned women were just never really the they just weren't put on a pedestal in the same way white women or racially ambiguous looking women are put in a pedestal in society. So definitely like films, music videos, all these things play a huge role in what people in society define as attractive. Because unfortunately, it's just social conditioning, and not everyone has very authentic, original taste in terms of partners. Because they just look at what their favorite artists, what their favorite artist type is, or what films have as like the love interest in these things. And like a lot of people kind of don't go outside of that social conditioning and kind of explore other people and explore just what they might like, what they don't like, and unlearning kind of anti-blackness and colorism and all these things. So it is a lot of internal work, but it's just not everyone does it, unfortunately.
yeah. And it's also like I remember when I was younger, and even like even till this day, when you look at Blackish, for example,
Right.
at the family, and it was always very interesting. It was interesting. You go with the same word, interesting. Well, it was always very funny. It was this show I used to watch that kid that was in the 90s, and it was a family, like the mom was dark skinned, the dad was dark skinned, and the daughter, she was, I forgot the name. I'm gonna put it down once I remember the name. I'm just gonna put it down so people know what I'm talking about. The first season the daughter was dark skinned, and the second season they went with, I think she was light skinned or mixed race, I don't remember, right? um and I was just like, whoa. And then when you look at Blackish also, I mean, I love Blackish. I love well, I don't watch it that much, but I've seen a few episodes, and it's kind of it's nice, right? But I was looking at the kids, and the girl, I forgot the name of the actress. I think it's
Yeah, Yara Shahidi.
Yara Shahidi. I love her, right? But again, she's half black, half Iranian, right? And her sister is black, right? So I was like saying, why would we put the image of a black girl, a black woman, um, in any type of movie, like just movies and in family settings, the ones that are put in the forefront are always mixed race and the dark skin tone. We either push them back or we give them like, a role that's, they're there but not always there. I mean, black is a bit different, but just the fact, like the fish I was talking to you about, how the first season the girl was black and then they exchange her with a light skinned mixed race member girl, tells a lot about how in the black community we want to portray, black women and and also with guys, the same thing, like the way we view light skinned guys and dark skinned guys is a completely different, right? So I was just looking, the media does show this image of light skin is right within the black diaspora, the black community. Light skin is right, and black skin is not
Yeah.
darker skin tone is not seen as right, right?
Yeah.
So would you think things are changing?
That's a good question. Um, to be honest, like, yes and no. Um, I say that because, like, um, yeah, I say that because black women, darker skinned women also, who are a bit older than me, are like 28, 30, yeah, late 20s going to their 30s. They look like, some of them look like supermodels, and they've never been in a long-term relationship. And so for me, it makes me think it's not looks that people are looking for. Because if that was like the main reason people date or look for in a partner, they would have already been in a relationship. So it's just like the game is rigged, and that's how I like to say it. Like the dating game is rigged, because it's just uh, they're always moving the goalposts for dark skinned women. It's like, oh, okay, you're beautiful. Um, we need something else. Uh, it's just like they have all these beautiful traits. They're intelligent, they're kind, they take care of themselves, they, they work in their community. They're, all tens across the board. And so it kind of like frustrates me because they will struggle with relationships. And then it's like they even will talk about their experiences with colorism and how it's hard to just find a good person. And so it's just like, it's frustrating because then there'll be black men who will just make it clear who their type is. And then on top of that, it's just they don't want to be fetishized. So it's kind of like you're trying to find someone who's right in the middle, who's not going to fetishize you, and someone who's also doesn't have internalized anti-blackness. So it's very like you have to pick between someone maybe who's the lesser of two evils or someone who doesn't have either. Um, but then also when I look at my sister's age group, and kind of how they date interracially. That never happened when I was in high school. Like, you just did not date interracially in high school ever. Like, people would make fun of you if you liked anyone that wasn't black. It's like, ew, you like him, or it's just it just didn't happen. But now when I go to the mall or when I just go everywhere, I see a lot of like interracial couples, especially with younger kids. So it's interesting how that's changed from like my age group. But then for people for older adults in their 20s, in late 20s and 30s, it's very different also, because then you have to get into marriage conversations and kind of like, how will this person's family deal with your partner being black, and all those tough conversations. Because I mean, hey, I've had those conversations, and it's really important to have. So yeah, those little things that Black people have to have those tough conversations with their partners. Um, so I'm gonna say half and half. I wanna I wanna say things will change in the future, but I think it'll be slow progress. I will say slow progress in the future. But like, what do you think from what you've seen in
I
your
mean, for me,
just experiences?
I think I think just like you, I think it's going to happen, you know. I think there is a mindset that we have to change. Of course, we have to see. I think as Black individuals, we have to be kinder to each other. Of course, that's what I
Yeah.
think. In order for it to change, I mean, all those things, we see, all the way we portray darker skin tones, those are within the Black community, of course. The way we view each other, the way we say light is right. You know, it's just it's. I don't think we say it as much as before. Light is right, but the messaging is still there. The way we portray dark skin tone compared to light skin tone individuals. I think it happens more towards women, of course, unless I'm wrong. But I do think that there is a change happening, and it's going to happen. It's going to take time, just like you, half and half.
Right,
So yeah,
exactly.
so we're at the end of our discussion. It was interesting. I liked it. I hope you liked the discussion, of course. And yeah, so this is it, guys. If you like our conversation, then like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. And thank you, Isa, for participating in the discussion with me.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. It's always so fun to talk with you.
Thank you. So, guys, thank you for watching us. If you made it till the end of the conversation, we are happy that you listened to what we have to say. Hopefully, it made you change the way you view things, the way you treat other people. And yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good day, evening, morning, wherever you are. Bye, guys.
Bye.